Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Welcome back to another episode of the No Comfort Zone podcast. If you hear the road noise, I'll try to edit it out. I'm driving and the roads are brutal because there's a lot of snow and a lot of salt from the salt trucks. Driving from Rockford, Illinois to Crystal Lake stupid early in the morning to make sure that the parking lot, which is where I work, is all cleaned up and ready to go so nobody slips and falls and all that other stuff. So I'm driving in to do that. Here's a question I got for you. I really hope that I don't mess this podcast up because of inaccurate information, but bear with me. There's a movie out there, Dreamgirls. I ended up seeing the play in Milwaukee a long time ago, and then I think Beyonce's in it, and it was a great movie, and it was an even better play that I saw. And the reason why I'm bringing it up right now is because I think, arguably, one of the best actors of our time is Eddie Murphy. Not even kidding by saying that when you look at all the roles that he played. And Eddie Murphy's claim to fame is his SNL background, his comedic stand-up, his, when we were kids, we watched Raw and I think it was Delirious. We watched those like over and over, and we used to mimic and we used to act like Eddie Murphy, and it was hilarious. It was just, we had so much fun growing up with that. Even today, it stood the test of time. With all of the movies that he's been in, from Beverly Hills Cop to Trading Places 48 Hours, and everything in between. I could just go on and on. But it wasn't until I saw a movie, that movie Dreamgirls, where I think it was Buddy. I can't remember, and I'm sorry I'm massacring this, but he ended up playing a very good entertainer who was coming down on the end of his career. And there's a scene in the movie where everyone's around him and they're talking and stuff, and they're in this really nice place, and all the entertainers are getting ready they're talking about something. And then there's a point where, Eddie's character decides that he's going to use drugs again. And when he does that, and they tell him, no, don't do that, you don't have to do that, or they allude to stop, Eddie Murphy doesn't say anything. Eddie Murphy doesn't do anything. He just looks off it's amazing. He looks off for a second, and there's just this super sad look of regret and sadness on his face. And to me, that was so powerful, especially with my background. That was so powerful that he really did a great job with not saying anything and having such a huge impact. Now, why am I bringing this up today? Watch the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about. There are so many times when just a look or a nod from an actor can do so much. And Eddie nails it there. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I think the people that listen to this podcast, I really do believe that we're connected, and I believe we're connected by ambition. You could have the voyeuristic listening to my life and me talking about Rockford, Crystal Lake, my kids, my work, getting out of your comfort zone and living on purpose and going after your goals. The truth is, this is an escape. This is a place for us to connect. This is a place for ambitious people to come who are interested in living a little bit better, who are wanting more, who want to feel alive. That's the best way for me to say it, is if you want to feel alive, get out of your comfort zone, listen to what I have to say, and contribute, and let's work together. That's really what it comes down to. But with ambitious people and goals, there can be sometimes an aggressive approach. And with that aggressive approach, or that wanting to solve every problem all the time, I know I sure do it. There's sometimes I just need to pull an Eddie Murphy and just be quiet and let it happen. As the people that I work for, I guess, would tell me that sometimes, like it's boating, you just got to put your anchor down and just kind of drift for a minute. See what happens. Slow down and just kind of drop the anchor. See what happens. So I'm dealing with a couple situations, especially sometimes with problems. And when a problem comes up, my philosophy has been tried and true for a long time. Don't know where I learned it. No, I know when I apply it all the time now. 10%. What's really the problem? This is the no comfort zone. One of the first steps in the blueprint is becoming aware. How do you become aware? Okay, once you know what the problem is, then you have to really make a decision on, identify basically what is the solution, or what's the end game you want from that problem. What is the solution? And 90% of your energy goes towards the solution, whether it's collaborating, whether it's getting other people involved, or sometimes, it's doing nothing. And that's uncomfortable for me. And if you work with me and you listen to this podcast, you know that. It is difficult for me to sit by and do nothing. But sometimes people need to figure things out on their own. Don't you think? I recently sent a message to my counselor from a long time ago. We share the same birthday. I said, happy birthday. The second thing was, there's somebody that's close to me that is now seeing her old partner where she used to work in Barrington, is seeing that person, another person's getting help there and doing marvelously well with the therapy. And no drugs, by the way, and excelling and thriving and happy again, and things are going really well with that doctor's therapeutic advice and her recommendations. It's working. And the last was that I've been sober, and I just reached the age of 50. And I wanted to thank her for that. And she responded back to me, thank you so much. You're the one that put in all the work. And when you think about it, that's all that it is, really. You just have to be accountable. So when problems arise in your life, like some of the stuff that I'm dealing with in my current work, my personal life and my professional life, sometimes people just need to work stuff out. I need to step out of the way and let them figure it out, even if it gets brutal. As long as it doesn't compromise the values of the integrity or the culture of the dealership that I work at, or it doesn't hurt the other people around me, these people need to figure it out together. And I think in the end, if they just do the right thing, the next right thing will happen. I just did it. I went there. And but they have to be good to each other, and they have to realize that pride and ego need to step away. Fact of the matter is this crazy. It doesn't need to happen. But what I guess I want to say is this: same thing in your life, is that when problems arise, what really is the problem? So I know that I need to exercise more so now. I hurt my foot, but I can't let it get me down. So I have to use alternative exercise to get my heart rate going. And working out at 30 is one thing. Working out at 50 is another. I have more intention at 50 to work out than I did when I was 30, but I had better health and vitality at 30. And what I'm trying to do is I need to get out of my comfort zone and actually start getting that health and vitality back by, guess what? Exercising. And exercising at a much more intense level at my age. It's just the way it goes. I'm not saying I'm old, just for the record. I'm not saying I'm old, but I am saying that things got to be done a little bit differently than I was when I was in my 30s. So what I do is I do hope that you understand that by listening to this podcast, it's really designed to give you tools and help you with a few things in your life so that you can get to the next milestone in your life, whatever that goal might be. But if you don't have any goals, man, it's time for you to write those goals down. Where do you want to go in your life? And goals, when you look at them daily, 3-4 times a day like I do, I'm driving in. I got this podcast going. I'm talking to you right now. I have my briefcase right next to me. I have 7 index cards on there that I look at every single morning when I wake up. And those are my goals and where I want to go with my life. And I make sure that I'm staying focused on those goals. Things are going to happen. Problems are going to come up. I have solutions, but I also have goals. So I know where I'm going. I know what the end game is. All right. So anyway, hope this does find you phenomenally doing well. And I really do hope that you do get outside of your comfort zone today and you start living on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.